I'm Danny Brown, and you're listening to 1 Minute Podcast Tips, the show that helps you be a better podcaster in just a minute a week. If you want more specific tips just for you and your podcast, check out the Magic Mike membership at 1minutepodcasttips.com/support. And now, this week's episode. When it comes to the audio of your podcast, there are two ways to make the sound as good as it can be every time. The first is the treatment of your room, and I've spoken before about that in a previous episode, and I'll link to that in the show notes so you can check it out. But your mic technique is equally important. Now, mic technique, as the name suggests, is a technique you use to speak into the microphone. And this is really important to make sure A, the sound is consistent and the quality is really good. So here are two examples of why mic technique is good, whether you use a condenser microphone or a dynamic one. The first one is plosives. Plosives are the hard P and B sounds you often hear where someone is speaking too close to the mic and directly into it. So I'm using a condenser microphone at the moment. It's at an angle to the side of my face. So instead of speaking directly into the mic, I'm speaking across it. So at the moment, if I said Peter Pepper picked a pickle pepper, hopefully you shouldn't hear too many of the P sounds being really harsh. If I turn around and speak directly into the microphone, Peter Pepper picked a pickle pepper, Peter Pepper picked a pickle pepper, you can probably hear the P's being really aggressive. So the direction of the microphone is really important. Sticking with a condenser, you need to make sure you're in a steady, consistent seating position. So for example, right now, the distance of my mouth to the microphone is a hang loose sign using your hand. Basically, that's where you extend your thumb and your pinky or your little finger and put them as far apart from each other as you can. That distance is the ideal distance for mouth to condenser mic. If I see it back a little bit now, so now I'm about 10 inches away from the microphone, 10 to 12 inches maybe, and you can probably hear that the volume's gone down quite a bit until I come back in to that sitting position that I had before. It's the same if I just turn my head and look about the room. You can probably hear, even though I'm at the same distance as before, because I'm moving my head around, the vocals have gone all over the place. So it's real important you keep a steady position from the microphone. Now, dynamic mics are a little bit more forgiving, so let's switch over to one now. So now we're on a dynamic. I'm actually a lot closer to the microphone as well. I'm about 2 inches away from the microphone now. But once again, it's pointed at an angle to my face as opposed to straight in front of me, and I'm speaking across the microphone. So if I say, Peter Pepper picked a pickle pepper, Peter Pepper picked a pickle pepper, hopefully the P's shouldn't be too harsh on you. As opposed to turning directly into the mic, Peter Pepper picked a pickle pepper, Peter Pepper picked a pickle pepper, you can hear how harsh the P sounds are. Now, if I do the same as before and adjust my sitting position, it's not quite as dramatic as the condenser mic. I'm about 10 to 12 inches away from this microphone, and if I come back in and start looking around the room and move my head to look about, you can probably hear the vocal tone change a bit, but the difference in volume isn't quite as dramatic as the condenser mic. So hopefully that shows you why mic technique is so important. Get your mic technique right, get your room treated, and you'll have amazing audio every time. Until the next time, happy podcasting. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy 1 Minute Podcast Tips, be sure to share with your friends and other podcasters so they can enjoy it too. Until the next time, happy podcasting.